Let's go back to Norman, Oklahoma. We checked in with them early on in the spring college football season, but as we're rounding the turn here during spring ball, Oklahoma, that offense has a different energy to it. And if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're like, gosh dang it, dude, I would hope it has a different energy to it. Stewart scored 21 points a game last year. That ain't going to cut it. That ain't the Sooner standard. If you haven't yet, go check out the Mic'd Up segment on the Oklahoma social page of Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer. Taking a lot from a little. That's spring football for you, but it's just got a different, more confident vibe around it. Different level of energy and juice. And with the year that you had last year, everyone that was a part of that a season ago that's still there, I think that's what you need. Because honestly, when you get into a situation that you were in from last year to this year, I think you need a reason to believe. I think you need a little bit of extra confidence. And so having Ben Arbuckle running around and chirping people and bringing the energy, I think that's phenomenal. I think also the fact that what we said earlier on in the previous Intel segment, the fact that Ben Arbuckle is able to run around because you got a John Mateer able to keep the quarterbacks, all dialed in. John Kuziaski also come over from Wazoo, keeping the quarterbacks dialed in. Really, really good energy, which kind of a spring cliche, if you will, but I think it holds true here. John Mateer, last time we checked in with him, the report was he's awesome. Sounds like he's still been phenomenal to this point. Interesting to note, though, you're not hearing a lot about the turnovers during those competitive periods for Oklahoma. No, I don't know if that's a thing where it's just not getting out or if it's not happening, but if you're Oklahoma, man, you gave the ball gave the ball right around 2 times a game last year. To hear that that's just improved to start right now in spring, that should get Oklahoma fans excited. Also, the offensive line was atrocious last year. Been solid, been healthy. 2 very, very crucial points at this point during the college football calendar year. 2 young bucks that are impressing, 2 freshmen, Ryan Foje and Michael Fasusi. Both high-profile recruits. From what I've been told, both are impressing and both have a chance to get some early burn. Now, will they start? That would be a massive feat under Bill Bedenbaugh, but all I'm saying is to hear good things around the offensive line with an offensive line last year that gave up a sack rate of like 13%, 14%, one of the worst in the country. Obviously, they were dinged up there too. That's very, very good buzz out of Norman. Now, the wide receiver room, it's been strong. Giovanni Gibson, Deion Burks. There's a lot of good intel right now around what that group is doing. But I think the most important thing around both the wide receiver room and the offensive line, outside of them just being solid, they've been very cautious as a team this spring with how they handle injuries. Because I think Oklahoma fans, last year, this team was capable of doing a lot. Now, a lot of what you were capable of hinged on having some of those pieces come together and Jackson Arnold hitting the way that you thought he would, but you never really got a chance to actually see it play itself out because of how dinged up you were throughout the entirety of the year. So what I've been told is they're taking spring a little bit more, I don't know if slowly is the right word, but cautiously with how they're handling the injuries really across the entire team to this point in spring football. Now, defensively, sounds like that's the strongest group of the team, which when you talk about John Mateer, you talk about Ben Arbuckle and what that side of the football is doing on offense, and then to turn around and say, no, defense is the strength of the team, we're going to be in good shape. A guy who keeps coming up is Taylor Wine, who's an edge defender, his 3rd year now in the Brent Venables system. Don't know if he starts, but sounds like he's going to play quite a bit. 6'4", 270. When you've gone that long in a defensive coordinator system, obviously your head coach is your defensive coordinator here in Brent Venables, that usually bodes to building upon just the basic principles within a defense. You can get a little bit more nuance, do a little bit more. It's always a good thing in that defense. What I've been told around him is he's a little bit crazy. Crazy is usually a good thing for edge defenders. Now, you got to control it and put it in the right direction, but they're very excited about what he brings to the table. Kendall Daniels, transfer from Oklahoma State to Oklahoma. Pretty big transfer there between the rivalry. 6'5", 239. Sounds like he's going to start at Cheetah for you. Cheetah in this defense is absolutely a chess piece for Brent Venables. We talk a lot about his scheme and how complex he wants to be and be deceptive, but also aggressive. That Cheetah position they use in coverage, they use to bring pressure. So Kendall Daniels will be a huge variable for this team when they get into the fall, and they're really excited about what he brings to the table there from a size, athleticism, and all those things. Really good to hear that kind of intel around him so far through spring practice. Now, as spring practice is about to finish up in Norman, we all understand this now. The portal's about to open. About to see a whole lot of Steve Wiltfong and Pete Nakos on your timeline, so get locked in for that. The Jim Nagy effect is about to be felt in Norman. Now, to what degree, we'll see, but what I've been told is they are going to be a player in the transfer portal. Doesn't mean they're going to go get 15 guys, but some positions that you could see them target. Tight end, to get some more experience there. A running back from a proven Power 4 school, if that market becomes available, I think they'd be a player in that. Your cornerback room, you're talented there, but you're also a little bit young. And even the personnel that you feel good about that's not as young has had some injury issues, and a one Gentry Williams. So you're going to see how that whole market shakes itself out, but I would be surprised if we didn't see Oklahoma dip their toe in the cornerback market. And then kicker. It's funny talking about special teams in the transfer portal, but it's one of those things, man, you don't know how bad you need it until you don't have it. So they will be a player in the portal, and I said this before too about Jim Nagy. The fact that you got a guy that was interviewing for NFL jobs running your roster in Norman, that's a boss move. Okay, so anytime you're able to make a boss move when it comes to roster construction, that to me says Oklahoma is serious about putting their actions aligned with their goals. You can say, yeah, we want to win the SEC, we want to compete for national championships. Great. You doing anything to line up with that? No? Okay, then you don't actually want to get that done. Hiring Jim Nagy over the course of the next few years, next few portal cycles and recruiting cycles, you're going to see those dividends, I think, start to pay off. So to sum it up here, John Mateer, still a dog, not turning it over. Ben Arbuckle, great energy. You need that on offense. Healthy on the offensive line. Some young bucks they're excited about. Wide receiver room is, I think, going to get a chance to shine a lot more than it did a year ago with how dinged up they were. And then defense to set the tone, to be the strongest group on the team, per the intel we're getting. Very, very good signs in Norman so far. Schedule is brutal, but it's spring football. You got to win spring football to win the fall, and that's the way things are shaking out here right now in Norman.